This is Lakes Region Kennel Club in New Hampshire. Friday, May 23rd. This was our first detective search in the morning. Our start line was here in between the cones. The dogs had the option of going into the main hall or down the ramp to search their exterior. Coming in here, many of the dogs worked this open space really nicely, and early on in their search got pulled into the vestibule where we had two hides. There was an anise hide tucked underneath this bench and an inaccessible birch hide on these chairs. Dogs that came in and worked to their right sourced this hide first, and then if the handlers gave the dogs a chance to work the rest of the space, dogs would come around, catch some pooling odor on these benches, and then bracket back and forth along the door and in this corner to source that hide. If the dogs came in and worked to their left, they hit pooling odor from this hide first and tended to catch it as they passed the stack of chairs working back. And from here, they were able to turn and work this hide. This space required the handlers to allow the dogs to work in a small space with fairly close proximity hides. The rest of the hall, with the exception of hide number 3, which was a cypress hide tucked underneath the foot of our flagpole, the rest of the hall was blank. This hide under the flagpole collected up the stairs under the railing all the way into this corner and even started to work the back corner as well as this post. Dogs that came from the vestibule and worked the wall this way caught it as they passed it, used the wall and the stairs for information, and came back to source. Dogs that were up on the stage accessing from a different point worked it along the back wall, the side wall, the stairs. A couple of dogs even came out to this flagpole and then went back to source the hide. The rest of this space was blank. On the outdoor section of our search, we had two hides. There was a crack hide located right here that presented beautifully with the wind blowing from left to right, facing the rear of the search area. This odor carried all the way beyond our flag boundaries onto the tank. Dogs worked it beautifully coming back in. There was some odor also drifting along the side. Dogs worked the railing and even worked a little bit along the grass. And our fifth hide was tucked in the very bottom corner of this alcove right here. That hide presented in the alcove fairly low, and if the wind picked up, the odor was going up on both sides. There was some communication between that space and the outside of the alcove, and the dogs were working odor up here as well. Every one of the dogs sourced this beautifully, even working a little bit along this wall as well. The most challenging hide in our search was the crack hide. One of the reasons for that was if the handlers moved quickly up and down the path or didn't recognize when the dogs were working the grass that they were trying to get back to odor. Our weather today is cloudy and rainy with humidity of 85%. We had 8 to 10 mile an hour winds and a temperature of 42 degrees. There were a total of 3,286 square feet in our search area. We had 4 toys as distractors. And of the 14 teams that entered this morning's trial, 3 qualified, including one team that got their detective title. It was an absolute pleasure to watch the dogs work. Both handlers and dogs are at the top of their game at this level, and they definitely showed it today. Congratulations to everyone.